we will continue in Africa, looking more particularly at agroforestry and reforestation. We've heard already that the issue of the use of wood is very important, and I think the potential of reforestation and agroforestry, especially in areas such as the Sahel, is extremely important. And we'll have the concrete example here from Senegal. And Mansour Ndiaye, the floor is over to you.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. I'd like to start by speaking about myself very briefly. I have a quite untypical career. I started after studying agronomics with conventional farming. For 25 years, I've contributed to destroying the environment. As a civil servant, that was my task. So when I left, I chose a different path. I want to restore what I contributed to destroy. I think humanity or the Senegalese will forgive me for having made that mistake. And luckily, I've changed my ways. We have an NGO called APAF, the Association for the Promotion of Agroforestry. We work in 7 African countries: Togo, Burkina Faso, Mali, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and Cameroon. We are supported by an international NGO, APAF International, based in France. We have also branches in Switzerland and Belgium. Our mission is to contribute to restore deteriorated natural ecosystems. Let me give you some key points. Let's take the example of Senegal, a country that is 180,000 square kilometers. We have 3.5 million hectares of farmland, but unfortunately 66% has been deteriorated or completely degraded. Every day we lose 123 hectares of farmland. That is FAO statistics. That's 40,000 hectares per year. Rainfall has decreased by 40% over the last 30 years. The groundwater is reducing dangerously, and the temperatures are increasing. Income of farmers is dwindling. Rural exodus has become a problem. Farmers can no longer live from their lands. That's why we have to look towards agroforestry, an ancestral technique that farmers have been practiced since ancient times. Now, as APAF, we're doing nothing new, but we want to bring back this ancient technique that seems to have been forgotten. Before, farmers worked between the trees. They had good yields. The trees were sustained. They obtained high yields. They produced a lot of grains, a lot of cereal. But with the introduction of industrial farming, we have groundnuts. All the trees have been cut down to make space for growing groundnuts. And what are the results? The soil has been deteriorated. The land is becoming dry. We get less rain. It used to start being dry in April. Now in January we have about 30 degrees Celsius. In May and June it's around 40 degrees Celsius. And the groundwater, as I said, is reducing. The farmers are struggling to find water to drink.
L'Afrique de l'Ouest, c'est des paysans qui travaillent désormais 3 mois sur 12. In West Africa, farmers are working only 3 months a year, and in 3 months, they cannot really make enough money. Now, this is because the rainy season is only 2 to 3 months, and that's what happened this year in Senegal. And in 2 or 3 months, farmer cannot make enough money to have a worthwhile life. And so we have to deal with degraded earth. We need to make sure that we have the temperatures go down, and we can only deal with that if we approach this in a holistic manner by replanting trees. Trees are the only way, as this is a huge problem. We need to go fast. We need to plant evergreens that can help to restore the earth, and we have the seeds, and we need to bring water to the farmers, and that's one of the main difficulties. Well, very briefly, as I'm supposed to put everything into 10 minutes. Let me go as quickly as possible. So what do we do? Farmers are involved in the entire agroforestry process. It's a participatory approach. And family or smallholders are the ones that benefit from what we are doing, because in Africa and in Senegal, these are the ones who develop farming. And if we don't work with them, there will be no results. 80% of food security, or food self-sufficiency, can be achieved through these small holdings. And this is why we work with them. In order to work with them, they must be included. And they are extremely important for the agroforestry approach. From the conception to implementation phase, we have them with us, we support them, we train them, we guide them, but they are the ones who take the main decisions. They are the main beneficiaries, they decide on the plans, and we support them throughout the process. The image that you see there is an information meeting. So farmers need to first and foremost be informed of what they can benefit from agroforestry. And that's the first thing that we do, the main thing that we do. In all the beneficiary villages in a given year, we hold these information meetings. Well, I told you what the results were for Senegal, or what the situation was for us. About 30 to 40% of the forest destroyed by the year, over 2 million hectares, and rainfall going down, and natural pasture land also disappearing. Our fawn is also being destroyed. In about 80,000 hectares, we see the fauna disappearing, and there's also a drop in groundwater. Now, and we're not far from the sea in many cases, and if the groundwater goes down, it is polluted by seawater, and farmers can no longer have drinking water. So this was the awareness building meeting, the information meeting. So the farmers are informed of the entire process. These are nurseries that the farmers themselves put in place. And we inoculate these trees with bacteria in the beginning to boost their growth and to make it possible for them after 2 to 3 years for them to carry out the restoration of the ground. And this is what we've seen from working with the farmers that we've met in all the villages. They came up with their teams for tree nurseries, and they are responsible for them. Here, this is a plot of land where we have market gardening and trees, so that everything can be associated, if you like. On one side, there is a pepper growing. On the left, you'll see that was planted this year, and there are trees there too. This was planted in September 2019. And this is what you have in just 4 months. You see how much the trees have grown 1 month. And they've already been inoculated with natural bacteria. So we work closely with research institutes on the ground and universities that work on microbiology of soils, because the bacteria are very active microorganisms and contribute a great deal to the trees, and so they need to be studied to see how they can contribute. And they help us to monitor how organic matter is working with the earth, with the soils, and pH levels, etc. And we often send samples to the laboratories to see what is happening. And this is how we work on soil fertility as well. Now, on the left, this is a nursery that was created by women, the one before too, and these are women planting. Whether it's for trees or other crops, we want the farmers to plant different things within these plots of land. So agroecology and also other plants. This is a plant that helps with malaria that has been introduced to these plots of land for the benefit of the populations. On the right, you'll see it's rice. This is where they would before had to have a much less organized approach to growing rice, and this is now done in lines. This is what we've been encouraging them to do. This is another plot where there's a group of women who are transplanting the nursery trees. So women have been able to manage their nurseries and also carry out the transplanting. And we look at the size of trees, the roots, etc. And the women themselves are responsible for the entire process. They can recognize the various different trees, identify them, etc. And in 1 hectare, there's a density of planting of 200 plants or saplings per hectare. And each one can contribute about 10 tons of organic material, which is much more cost-effective than compost, especially in a context where water is increasingly scarce. And the trees drop organic matter about 10 tons per hectare.
Donc voilà, ça aussi c'est une parcelle qui a
été another plot that was put down in September.
Cette année, en 2019.
in 2019. And you see, this is millet, the harvest of millet. And so farmers can make money and also have crop rotation in the same area of land. And then also with the trees, they can start to produce coal after 4 years. So these are our achievements over 7 years, 1.50 million trees in these plots. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ndiaye.